of our agreement were very clear, Charlotte, you would have been long gone.
I wonder if that'll hold up in court, Mrs. Woodard.
Get out of town, Charlotte, tonight, otherwise you'll never see another penny of my money.
Keep your money. We've no more use for it.
We?
That's right, we. Did you suspect that I was all alone in this world, that I was just some simple money-grubbing con artist who just happened to notice what Frank Ryan had done to you? Didn't it ever occur to you in your mind when I walked into your office with that proposal? Or were you so eager for vengeance, Mrs. Woodard, that it never occurred to you that I might have something in mind other than money?
You used the cover story that we put together. You told him the clerk was involved.
That's right. I still have use for that story.
Charlotte, for heaven's sakes, you're covered. I'm satisfied. The man's career is in shambles. Now, why don't you just leave?
Because we've barely begun. You see, we have a much more interesting and elaborate plan for Mr. Ryan.
What kind of plan?
A plan that will satisfy the ghost of the dead. A plan that will bring all the Ryans 40 years of grief, as my father has suffered 40 years of grief.
I will not permit that.
You will not permit it? You have financed it. We looked for a long time for someone like you, Mrs. Woodard. And you were perfect, rich, wronged, and very angry with Frank and his family.
You are not going to use me, Charlotte. I will expose you.
Oh, please. What are you going to do? Tell the world that Charlotte Greer is a fraud? Now, how are you going to tell them that without they're also learning who paid her? Who coached her?
What are you going to do to Frank?
Why do you care? Are there limits? Your thirst for vengeance may be satisfied, but not ours. In a word, Mrs. Woodard, our hate is older, stronger, and greater than yours.
What are you going to do?
Why don't you wait and see? The Ryan family motto, death before dishonor. Who knows, maybe we can arrange a little of both.
I won't have any part of any of it, Charlotte. I'll warn them.
We'll say nothing. Otherwise, the story of your funding me, photostats of all the payments, will go straight to the press. You'll probably go to jail. But you'll never succeed in saving Frank Ryan or the rest of them. They're ours now. Goodbye, Mrs. Woodard. And thank you.
You did very well, my dear. I thought you might need some help with her.
Oh, no, Daddy. And my next step is quite clear. And I won't need any help with that at all.
Stayed up all night, you see.
Oh, headquarters is absolutely wild. I mean, I wanted to tell everybody to shut up, including Albany, and just listen to you. I'm sorry that I couldn't.
Sure, I understand. I've been there, remember? Everyone tearing at your coat and wanting your undivided attention. And if you don't give them it, well, then it costs you.
I'm sorry. I just thought maybe you might be angry.
No, I know what it is not to be able to do the thing you want to do most. Fact is, I'm in that position right now.
Yeah.
It has to do with Charlotte and her parents.
Mm-hmm. I know. You said something about an ultimatum.
Mm-hmm. I told them that if their story doesn't check out, I'd turn them all in.
What is their story?
Well, that's complicated. It has to do with everything from gun running to international intrigue, political and personal vendettas. You see, Charlotte's father is an invalid. Now, right from the start, she's claimed that the people who were out to ruin me had threatened his life.
Oh, she says that she was forced?
That's what her father claims. And he says they're still in danger.
Well, could he be lying?
Yeah, he could be. I'll just have to find out. Joe. I'm going to have to do some things that you won't like.
Like what?
I'll have to play along with them for a while. Look, I don't know what they're up to. But the only way I'm going to find out is to make them trust me.
You know, I've been trying real hard to detach myself from the fact that you have this need to be with Charlotte. And I have managed, partly. I know I can't stop you now because you've come this far. But to me, there seems to be no stopping. This thing is endless. It's bottomless. Evil upon evil. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm scared.
I don't much like this either. But it's having your support. It makes all the difference. And remember, I've got my priorities straight now. Number one is us. No matter what this is all about, we're going to hold on to each other. I'm not going to let this tear us apart.
Okay. Neither will I. And besides, it seems different. Like you're sharing it with me in a new way.
I want to share it with you. But you're the only one I can share it with, no one else. I can't tell my folks about it. There's too much pressure involved. You see, who's ever behind this, whether it's blackmail or not, they've got to have a very close connection to me or my family.
Who?
Well, my first guess is still Ray Woodard. But I've got to convince Charlotte and her parents that I may believe their story. And that may cause us some trouble.
Well, I could handle anything. As long as you and I have these times together.
We will. We will, but we can't tell anybody about them. And no one else can know about them. Not my family, not yours, not Bobby, not the staff. No one. Everyone has to believe that Charlotte is still driving a wedge between us. I have to give up all pretense of interest in anything but Charlotte. And you are going to have to put on an act of being very impatient with all this whole business.
Well, that's not hard to do.
Because you see, that's the only way I'm going to get them to trust me and not make them suspicious.
Okay. I'll sulk. I'll snarl at you in public.
You give it your best shot. You know something? I think it may even do you some good. I think on some level you have to be very angry at me and disappointed.
That's true. I am also madly in love with you.
Will you stay that way? And know how much I love you? Just you.